You know, I'm a sucker for some surrealist humor, so this this hit the right buttons. Salutations, Cinemaskers! I'm Darkest101, and welcome to the 4th year of Double Dip December. God, that feels weird to say. The 4th year of this. Blimey. Anyway, how's everyone enjoying the run up to Christmas? Has everyone got their Christmas shopping done? Got that special somebody, something really special for Christmas? Well, if you haven't, I suggest you hurry that up, because today we will destroy all humans. What? Just the name of the game. I was familiar with the Destroy All Humans franchise before through a couple of YouTube videos, I think, and backseat playing the game with a couple of friends when I was younger, but me personally, I never actively played it myself. How? How in God's name did I not play this game? I'm honestly a little bit shocked that I've not played this game up until this point. I mean, I genuinely don't know. I saw this game be played like so many different times in my youth. How did this game's sense of humour not stick in my fucking brain? First of all, the basic premise. You're playing as an alien who's arrived on planet Earth in the 1950s during the whole Roswell conspiracy Cold War-ish era. Is this game serious about that setting? Absolutely not. These aliens are just as vulgar, stupid and batshit crazy as the planet they've landed on. An example of that batshit insanity of the game is in the currency of this game's upgrade menu. What is it? It's human fucking brains. Why is it human brains, I hear you ask? Alright, sit down for this, you aren't even ready for this one. The ancestors of the aliens came to our planet in the middle of an intergalactic space trip and had sex with our evolutionary ancestors. How did they put it in game?
Human society was young and nubile. Sailors on a foreign planet letting off steam, one thing led to another. Long story short.
So, you know, if you're looking for a real-life equivalent, it's basically just manatee syndrome. So we have ancient alien DNA in our brainstems. That makes sense. How do you extract these brains? By killing humans, of course. They're not getting that DNA without putting a few humans in the ground. And, well, if you didn't, this game wouldn't be called Destroy All Humans then, would it? So how do you destroy all humans? Well, there are a lot of weapons in this game, but my personal favourite is the fucking anal probe. You know, the only thing that really sucks about the anal probe is the fact that it's not a melee weapon. Yeah, that's probably kind of immature, but come on. It'd be a funny gimmick. There's also a bunch of psychokinetic powers your alien commands. Powers like telekinesis, hypnosis, and mind reading. And the mind reading is fucking hilarious. You're just going around typical small rural American towns reading the mad, mental thoughts of the people who live there. But, by far, for me personally, the funniest part of this game is when you disguise yourself as the politician of a rural American town. It is just fucking glorious. Because this is the Cold War-ish era, the mayor of every town you infiltrate in this game is just a JFK impersonation, blaming communism for all the alien bollocks you've been causing. Ah yes, the disguise system. The disguise system is probably the most poorly implemented feature in the game, it really is. How do you disguise as someone? Not even entirely sure myself, that's how badly implemented it is. As far as I'm aware, you have to not be suspicious, have mind-read a human and activate a disguise. The problem with that is, apparently everyone in the fucking world is omniscient! I'm not even making this up when I say that the range you have to be within in order to scan a human and begin the convoluted bullshit necessary to begin disguising as said human is 1 atom within the range a human needs to be of you in order to see you, panic, and grasp the concept of alien life being on fucking Earth. And since a lack of suspicion is required for you to be disguised, the minute you try and do anything, you instantly have the police on your asshole. So if you want to get rid of the police, how do you do that? You have to get a fucking disguise. Fucking what? I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, well, you can just run away. You could jump on top of a building. You could hide in some trees. You just run away from all the police. Well, you know what? You'd be right. If it weren't for the fact that every police officer in this fucking game is apparently Batman. You can't run from Batman. He will find you. Which means you're just going to rack up more suspicion as you try and complete simple objectives, trying to deal with the police, trying to deal with the army, and the fucking men in black once they finally get off their asses and do something for once. So, this game is kind of not well balanced in terms of it being a stealth game, but, you know, surely it must be some good as a third-person shooter, right? When fighting the police and the army, it's almost a fair fight, yes. Almost fair for them at any rate, because you can pretty much obliterate everything with a single blast of your most basic unupgraded weapon. But when Majestic gets involved... The only weapon really worth anything with them is the Disintegrator, because it has almost infinite range and does the most damage. But even so, it's hardly the best choice of firearm if I were to pick one. The Majestic forces are nimble and capable of rolling, dodging and strafing, as well as completely stunning you for a few moments. The most advanced evasive maneuver you're capable of? Jumping. And floating away for a moment on your pathetic fucking jetpack. And I know, you can upgrade your weapons, but do you know what you can't upgrade? Jetpack, psychokinetic abilities, other fun stuff that would be interesting to upgrade. It would make the game more fun to fucking play. You can't upgrade that shit. And the whole process of extracting human brains to get more upgrades for your weapons actually takes for fucking ever to get through, as you'll get anywhere from 10 to 50 DNA points per extracted brain. How many DNA points do upgrades cost? In excess of 500. Now that might not sound like much, but if you want to be stealthy about it, you have to use the extract ability whilst disguised, which drains the concentration meter required to maintain the disguise, and even if you manage to balance disguising and extracting in order to remain undetected, you can't pick up brains while disguised. And fuck trying to get brains the violent way, because, you know, if you begin that extraction process, if you begin that whole shenanigan of running out, guns blazing, trying to extract brains out of people, you end up with so many fucking Majestic agents on your ass that it is just impossible to extract the brain with your psychokinesis, and it is way too tedious to use the anal probe. The anal probe takes like 17 different fully charged hits in order to completely extract a brain instantly from an enemy. It's not worth it! So I pretty much left upgrading alone and focused on completing the story missions. But here's the thing. You don't get DNA for completing story missions. You can only extract it from human brains, find it in alien probes that are scattered about the place, or complete optional objectives using your alien saucer, which are bland and uninteresting, but again, here's the thing. Certain story missions are locked off until you have a certain amount of DNA. Now, I am familiar with the fact that a lot of games of this era have certain in-game paywalls using in-game currency, you know? Like Ratchet & Clank, for example. There are so many sort of moments in Ratchet & Clank where you won't be able to progress certain areas without paying for it. I get that, but in Ratchet & Clank, however, it's not as much of a bitch as it is in Destroy All Humans, because quite literally anything in the level that can be destroyed will drop that in-game currency. You can literally fall on your ass in Ratchet & Clank and just find 1,000 bolts just rummaging around in your trousers for some reason. In Destroy All Humans, in order to get the currency you need to progress and to upgrade your abilities, it is a grind, and it drains enthusiasm of the game really fast. I will admit though that because the Furons are a clone race, the fact that the save file gets renamed every time you die to reflect the latest clone version of yourself is a really cute touch. What's not cute, however, is how the game handles the deaths themselves. Death in this game is not lenient in any way, because if you die, you have to start the mission over from scratch. Like seriously, you even have to load in again. You don't even respawn in the level you are in. You wake up on the mothership again. I mean, in a way it makes sense, narratively speaking, But what makes narrative sense sometimes isn't what makes for a fun gaming experience. I mean, Christ, even bloody Dark Souls throws in a checkpoint system to give you a fucking break. I would just like to point out to the internet at large that me using Dark Souls in reference to this video game is not me using Dark Souls as a comparison for this game's difficulty. That would be inaccurate, and more importantly, that would be lazy journalism. Also, can I point out how fucking bullshit some of the missions are, especially when you get to Area 42? Because when you get there, it's like the game basically just says, Hey, so you know the strongest enemies in the game that have tanks and the ray guns and the fucking Gundam mechs? Yeah, we need you to go run into the heart of that area, and then go get a thing, and then run out again, back to your spaceship, using a little fucking farty jetpack. How's that sound? Well, I'm gonna tell you, game. I will tell it to you straight. I will tell you exactly how that sounds. That sounds fucking awful. Piss off. So we've established that choosing between stealth and combat in this game is kind of like the difference between finding out your dog died and your cat died. It's really shitty either way. Well, here both options are fucking impossible. When it comes to stealth being impossible, all the majestic enemies can see through your disguise, which means even if you don't set off an alert instantly when you float on over the wall with your apparent moon jumping, you'll be spotted instantly and forced out of the skies a few seconds later. Combat is hardly an attractive choice as well, because you have to fight tanks, mech suits and majestic wherever you go, using the strongest weapons in the game, which, by the way, are the only weapons in the game with a limited ammo supply. Meaning, if you run out of the ammo you have to run around looking for more ammo, which, when you're being shot up the butt, isn't exactly something you want to have to focus on. Which leaves you with the run and gun approach, where you rush into the middle of the map, try and find the objective, and try and run back out without getting blown to fucking pieces by the 5,000 enemies you pissed right the fuck off by running right under their noses. Fun! Couple all of these factors together, and the end result is that when the main enemy of the game, Majestic, is introduced as a tangible threat in the game itself gets significantly less fun, which is a real shame when you consider that this game does have a rather interesting premise and a sense of humour that hits all the right notes with me personally. It's clear that there was a vision here. The problem is that in terms of gameplay, it feels like they threw everything at the development wall to see what stuck. The game isn't balanced right for it to be a fun stealth game, and it's not really fun as a third-person objective-based shooter either. Destroy All Humans is a game I get the feeling I might have enjoyed closer to the time of its initial release. I mean, it has a sense of humour that I can appreciate and a narrative that's bonkers enough for me to get behind, but all of the combined gameplay elements just make it... well, let's put it like this, it's not really aged well in comparison to other games. What am I doing? Why am I justifying me not liking this game? I mean, it's got a quirky narrative and a nice sense of humour, but that doesn't cover up for a janky fucking mess of a game. Destroy All Humans gets a Dart rating of 34.
When do I get to blow things up?
How many people have I just upset by calling that a janky fucking mess? How many more people have I pissed off by repeating that I said that? Oh god, the internet's probably going to crucify me. As far as I'm aware, that's a cult classic. Oh dear. If, for some miracle, you enjoy today's review and did not want to rip out my guts for slating what I can only assume is a highly respected, highly cherished game from the PlayStation 2 era of console gaming, please let me know. Please subscribe for more reviews in the future if you don't want to crucify me. And as always, I've been Darkest101. You've been watching Darkest101 Reviews. Thank you for watching. Please don't kill me. And happy fucking nightmares.